Hello viewers, welcome back to MuleSoft-TechZone. This is a new series on MuleSoft IDP. So MuleSoft Intelligent Document Processing is a new tool from MuleSoft. I'll be explaining more in the coming slides. So we'll be going to have a series of videos on IDP. So we will start with the theoretical session in our part 1 of this video, and then we can dive into the practical ones. So in this session, we will be introducing IDP, MuleSoft IDP. So far, you must have heard MuleSoft as an integration platform. It's more of APIs, and stuff, integration, different systems, all those stuff. But MuleSoft is also, it's just not integration anymore, it is also automation platform. So MuleSoft is both integration and automation platform. And IDP comes under automation. So under automation, we have something like MuleSoft Composer, MuleSoft RPA, and MuleSoft IDP. And integration and automation are two different technologies. So this is not for to learn MuleSoft IDP, you don't need like really coding skills. I will show you what needs to be done and what is required over here. So basically MuleSoft IDP, as on the screen itself, it is like a AI based intelligent document processing, which will help us to read and analyze documents for our automation purpose. The primary purpose for MuleSoft IDP is for document processing. So probably you have some files like which are based on like JPG format or PDF format, and if there is a use case where you need to extract the data and use that data for the further processing, then MuleSoft IDP helps you to achieve this. And as I already said, it is a AI powered document analysis and structuring with MuleSoft IDP. When I say AI, it's like it has internally the technologies, the AI technologies like deep learning, machine learning, and natural language processing. All right. So basically I have divided this MuleSoft into three different steps. So first thing that we do is like we configure it. Then once the configuration is done, we will be publishing it, and once it is published, then it is ready to use for our automation purpose. So let's go step by step. As I said, like this is more of a theoretical session of the part 1, then we will come up with the hands-on thing. Okay, so let's start with configuration. What is configuration and stuff, and what are the technical terms that we use in MuleSoft IDP? So in MuleSoft IDP, we call every project or every application as a document action. Just like in how Anypoint platform, each application is called as an API or something like that, right? So here we call each of that project as a document action. So this document action is basically a multi-step process which uses multiple AI engines to scan a document. So when I say like multiple AI engines, you don't have to worry about what is happening behind the scenes, but just it's good to know that it uses multiple AI engines, as I said, like using deep learning, machine learning, and natural language processing to scan a document. So and each of that all these multiple processes is called as a document action. On the screen itself you can see like something like patient information POC. It is a document action. And what is that we do in each step is, first thing is like we are customizing the data extraction. As we are talking about document processing, right? It's all deals with documents and the data that is contained inside the document. So what we do is like we set field visibility, like because it is something like extraction or scanning, so we need to mention the field visibility, the confidence scores, and prompt configurations. We will be discussing more about this in the practical session, but here you should know about like what is like prompt configuration. When I say prompt, it's simple, like I think most of you might have already used ChatGPT. Whatever we enter, right, whatever question that we enter is called a prompt basically. Okay, so each prompt will have a response. So here also, instead of coding, we will be writing some prompts. For example, if you have a document and it has a patient information, and if you want to extract the city of the person who is living in that area, so what you can do is like extract city under the patient information. So that will internally process it and give the result. And each thing has a field visibility and confidence score that we'll be seeing later on. Next, once the data is scanned, the output that we are going to get is a structured response, which is basically a JSON object. So whenever a document is being uploaded that the response of those fields or the values are in the format of JSON object. Next, there are some pre-configured templates. So IDP provides basically invoice and purchase order templates. These are the two templates that we use, which are already like pre-configured. When I say pre-configured, there is nothing for you to do. Basically IDP, like in Salesforce you have some like invoices. For example, you have purchased something in Amazon or Walmart, you have the invoices printed on it, and if you want to extract the data from that invoices, what you can do is you can just select the template, whether it is invoice or purchase order, just upload your document and you can see the results. So all these prompts are already configured within these templates. You don't have to do anything, or you don't have to write any prompts. And the third type, like if it is not a invoice or if it is not a purchase order, if it is a generic type, for example, it can be a patient information document, it can be your resume that you wanted to extract specific fields from your resume. So all these are different kinds of examples for a generic template. Generic is like when it doesn't fall under these two categories, every other document is a generic type, and for generic type you will be using your prompts. All right. So yes, once you have configured everything, once you have given your prompts and you have tested, then the next step is like publishing. So you can find your document actions in the exchange once it is successfully published. All right. So next thing is like, even before publishing, you might need to add reviewers, okay, to your document, because we are dealing with some documents. That documents can be both digitally typed or handwritten documents. What if we have some handwritten documents and it is not able to predict the text? Then there is some, so out of like 50 fields, probably one or two fields are not being identified. Then there comes the part of reviewer. So whenever you add a reviewer, whenever you upload your document, you can get the result. I will show you that in the hands-on session. So there will be a status called like manual approval required. So you will be adding your reviewers before publishing to verify and correct the documents flagged for low confidence score or missing required fields. Next is, you can also version your document action. You can use this document action versioning just like how we have our API versioning. Here also we are using versioning to avoid breaking of the existing integrations when we modified a published document action. All right, that's it. Last step is publish to exchange. So exchange, you all know that it is a place where you can find all your assets. It can be like APIs or applications or whatever it is. So even document actions, you can view them. All right. And the last thing, now that we have you configured and now that we have published our document action to exchange, then this particular thing is ready to use. Okay, that is what we do in the automation step. So what we do, automate the data extraction process by using the IDP API. So whenever it is published, your application is now in the form of API. Your document action is in the form of API. And remember, we are talking about documents and processing, right? So documents is nothing but whenever like the type would be like multi-part form data. So basically your IDP API has like two different calls. One is post call and one is a get call. Again, this particular IDP API is an asynchronous mode. It's not that when you upload the document, immediately you will get the response of the application, because the document needs to be scanned and the field should be extracted. So all this process will take at least 10 seconds. So within 10 seconds you should not be able to trigger it to get the response. So you should wait at least 10 seconds for the document to be scanned and retrieve the data. Okay, and this IDP API is a multi-part form data API where you will be uploading your file and you will be getting the response with the, so for initial response, the asynchronous response will have an ID, a status and a document name. And once you do the get call, you will see the structured JSON response. And you should ensure to use this API, IDP API, you have the anypoint permissions like connected app. So you need to create a connected app for that in your MuleSoft Anypoint platform, and then it is ready to use. And to execute it, we need to configure a connected app and obtain the access token. And with that particular access token, you can call your IDP API to execute your document actions. Again, we will see all this part in our hands-on. And there is an also option like you can define your, as I said, like it is async. That means you are making a post call, you will get some execution ID, and then after 10 seconds you will again use this execution ID and hit the get call and get the response. But if you don't want to, hit the get call like, by yourself, you can also, there is an option to use a callback URL, so that whenever the IDP is ready to provide the response, it will call your callback URL to update the status. All right, this is just an optional, it's not a mandatory one to use callback, but it is an optional field. And yes, we can, with the help of RPA, you can execute your published document with MuleSoft RPA, because like now that it is an API, it can be used by RPA, or it can use by any point platform also. You can just call using a HTTP requester within your integrations. So yep, so that is all about MuleSoft, introduction to MuleSoft IDP. But I wanted to also let you know that IDP is a new product, and we keep getting improvisations and new features. So you have to keep updating yourself by reading the documentation. And there are some quotas and limitations here. That is like, it will accept only the PDF, PNG and JPG formats. All right, and 150 dpi or more is recommended for execution. And next thing is, you can upload it via UI. If you are uploading it via UI, it is like 8 MB per file max that you can upload, and 10 files max per upload. So for each upload you can upload like 10 files at the max, and each file should not cross 8 MB. But if you are doing it via API, right, if you are using API, then there is no limit on the number of files per upload. Okay, you can upload as many number of files as you want, but make sure that each file is not more than 10 MB. This is something you need to know. And the prompt limits are like 30 per document action, which means each file that you upload, or instead of, I say like each file, for each document action, that document action can have more than 10 files or 15 files. But overall 15 files, you can only have 30 prompt limits. That means you can extract only 30 fields. So basically we don't have multiple files basically. So for each document action, it is limited with 30. I mean, when I say document action, it can be like the data from one file, but you can upload like 10 files of the same data. For example, if you have a patient form, okay, the document action is created for the patient form, and you can upload 10 files and more than that, but each file will have only like 30 files that it can be extracted. And we have discussed this polling thing. So it is like 10-second interval for retrieving the results, and applications must avoid polling for results which are like more than like you should not be hitting it less than 10 seconds. All right, and currently the languages that are supported are English. It is full English support, but additional languages are not fully support. When I say not fully support, it is partially supported. All right, so this is about quotas and limitations, and so we will be seeing the demo in our next session. So one more thing that I wanted to let you know, that so as you know that Anypoint platform, that you can have your trial account and you can use it, like there is a 1-month free trial, but IDP is not for free. So probably you might need to consult your organization if they have access to if they have license towards your automation. So you will be having, so MuleSoft Anypoint platform license is different, and MuleSoft automation license is different. So in MuleSoft automation, we call it like automation credits. So please check with your organization if they have automation credits. If so, you can request your organization to provide some access to IDP to play around. So